Mendel. Mendel is the father of genetics. What we mean by genetics is the scientific study of heredity. While Mendel worked in his bee's garden, he carried out more than one experiment. And by this experiment, he helped us to understand what the meaning of heredity and what is the genetics. Now, Mendel used a bee plants to study the inheritance of traits. Why he used this type of plants? Why he used bee plants? Why he don't use a human, for example, or animals? So, look at this pea plants. Pea is very small and very simple to grow. And that's why he used a pea plants and not a human or animals. Now, this pea plant is a model system of his study or his experiment study. Fertilization. We talk about fertilization. And if you remember, in fertilization, we have two parents. So when two parents cross together or come together, this X here mean cross. They cross together to make a new cell or a new organism. Now, when two parents mean sexual reproduction. Two parents come together to make a new cell or zygote. That's what we mean by fertilization. Now, in plants or bee plants, we have two types of fertilization. First one is called a self-pollination, self-pollinating here. And this self-pollinating means I have one flower, just one flower. And by this one flower, I have the sperm and egg. So this is an egg and this is sperm. This is source of sperm. And this here we have egg. Now, I have self-pollination. So I have the sperm and egg in the same flower. So I don't need any other flower. I just have the one flower, and by this one flower I can make a new generation because I have sperm and egg in my flower. And that's what we called self-pollination. Now, all the characteristics of a new cell or a new flower will come from just this type of flower. That means all the flower will result from this self-pollination will have the same traits. True breeding. In true breeding, that means we have a self-pollination, and that means all the outcome and all the aspirin that come from this type of process or this type of fertilization will have the same traits and same characteristic. Now, the second type is called a cross-pollination. A cross-pollination process is when we have two flowers and one flower will have a sperm, the second flower will have egg. So, the first flower will have sperm, the second flower will have egg. So, the first flower will give an egg and the second flower will give sperm. Then, sperm with egg cross together to make a new cell. So this type of fertilization called cross-pollination process. So the new cell comes from two flowers, not one. Now, I will use that now. You have two types of fertilization, the first type and the second type. The first type is called self-pollination. You should have a flower, one flower. In self-pollination, you have one flower. In self-pollination, you have one flower. So the sperm and egg found in the same flower. So the sperm will transfer to this egg here and fertilize it to make a new cell. Now, look here. The sperm transfer to new egg, to this egg, to make a new cell. This is the first type of fertilization. We don't need any other plants or flower to make a new cell. Now, in the second type of fertilization, we have a cross-pollination. In a cross-pollination, I have a sperm. Look at the sperm. This is sperm transfer from the first flower to a second flower. And here I have egg. So this flower will give egg, sperm, and this flower will have the egg. So that means I should have, in cross-pollination, I should have two flower. One of this flower will have a sperm, and one of this flower, the second flower, will have egg. And together will make a fertilization or fertilized cell. Now, the self-pollination, just one flower. In cross-pollination, I have two flowers. So, in cross-pollination, I have two flowers. In self-pollination, I have just one flower. Now, if all the flower have sperm and egg, that means all flower will have a self-pollination. How we can make this type of fertilization process happen and prevent this type to happen? So how we can remove the self-pollination or change the self-pollination to be a cross-pollination? Now, look, I cannot remove the egg. If we want to remove sperm or egg, I cannot remove the egg. Okay, so that will destroy all this flower. Or this flower will destroy it. But if I remove just the source of sperm, that means this egg will not fertilize without sperm. So that means this egg will need another flower to make a new cell. Now, if I remove all these source of sperm, I will just have in the end one egg or egg alone. And this egg will be alone and need another flower. In the end, I will have a cross-pollination. So, again, I have this flower, this one flower, and this one flower can go through the self-pollination because it have sperm and egg. Now, if I remove the sperm, this is a source of sperm. This is a source of sperm. It's called anther. So if I remove this anther from here, the source of sperm, that means in the end, I will have just egg alone, and egg alone will not make any fertilized cell. So that means, now look at this picture here. That means if I cut all the source of sperm, I will have one egg alone, and this sperm, the sperm which need to make a fertilized cell, will come from another flower to make a new generation. Now, again, this is a flower and this is a second flower. In this process, because we have two flower, and this two flower will make a new generation here, that means I have a cross-pollination process. So this is the first flower, and we remove the source of sperm. So I have egg alone. So, and here I have a second type of flower with white color, and I will take the sperm from this flower and added it to the second flower here, And in this process I will make a new cell, and this cell, fertilized cell, come from a cross pollination. So that everything until now. Just you should understand we have a two type of process or two type of fertilization. First one called self-pollination, and we need just one flower and the sperm and egg found in the same flower, and all the outcome will have the same traits. In cross-pollination, I need two flower, one have sperm, the second flower have, I will need two flowers, the second one will have egg. And the outcome will have a different traits because I take the sperm and egg from different flowers. And that means I will have a fertilization, a cross pollination, this is the type of cross pollination.